I greet you in the love and the light of the Ultimate One Creator. I'd like to give a little tribute to a boxing coach, John Dryden. What a wonderful fellow he was. Just so energetic, so much energy, so much sense of humour. Honestly, if anyone who hears this, who sees John's, who knows John, will be saying the exact same thing. I mean, the man was crazy. He was just so funny. I mean, I've been all over the country with him in the boxing shorts, slept in vans with him, and slept in hotels and all sorts. Over the years. A couple of things I want to thank John for is I was about 11-year-old or 10-year-old, and he bumped into me. Like, I was on the streets with a baseball bat, as you are when you're that age. And he just wound his window down to the van and said, "Lewis, get down the gym." Sure as hell, the following Monday I was there. And never looked back. I remember once we went to a boxing show, and after the boxing show finished, there was a gentleman's entertainment on, shall we say, as strippers, and all the boxers they had this big curtain that they put up across, and at one side of the curtain was where all the people were who were kids and younger, and the other side of the curtain was the strippers, and of course me being me, and a few of the other lads, we managed to creep into the just under the curtain and just peek a little bit just to get enough of boob. And they were all the boxers were trying to sneak in and all that, and all the other people were trying to keep them out, the bar staff, and it was like a dinner do. So there was guys in suits, and it was wonderful. Honestly, it was wonderful. Some of the funny things John used to do, and and saying to us, and I remember, if you were boxing, you're training or boxing, and you lose concentration, you used to have this thing saying, "Lewis, you're drifting," or I used to say to everybody, "You're drifting," your concentration's drifting. And my concentration for boxing could never ever drift because of John's enthusiasm, his dedication to it, and it was his life. The boxing was his life. I mean, obviously, he was a granddad, a father, and all the rest of it, and all the the family stuff, but the boxing was his passion. He couldn't go 30 seconds without talking about boxing. He just couldn't. And he didn't want to. He didn't. Everything else in the world didn't exist to him. It was just boxing. It was brilliant. He was so infatuated with it, and this what instills a lot of young people to have that same belief system in it. The countless fellas, countless fellas who's done this, lads through the years, through the boxing gyms, be hundreds and thousands of them, of us Welly boys. Had all my fights at the Welly. I would love to go to other boxing gyms, and the other boxing gyms are really successful as well, I know, but it was just something about John that inspired me really as a young kid. I know my granddad was coaching there at the Welly as well, but because of the family ties with my granddad, the other coaches sort of coached me a little bit more because he was my granddad, of course. But him, John Pierce, maybe John Pierce, and Kevin, and John, really, and few of the older boxers who've come back and done coaching as well. But John, he was something special. If anyone left chewing gum in the gym, he used to stick it on the end of his nose and walk around with it, and pretend it wasn't there for hours. Then all of a sudden, just start eating it. and it wasn't even his chewing gum. Hey, kind of. I mean, I was there when he broke his ribs. Um, um, he had a scrap one night with one of the dads come to pick the lads up from the gym, mortal drunk, stinking of booze. So John said to him, "What you doing coming here drunk? You can't come here." All these children, are influenced by other people. He sort of shouted at him, and then they got into a little altercation. John must have been in his 60s, maybe 70s. I'm not sure exactly. Then there was a little altercation. The bloke went for John. And John just stepped back and hit him with 3 punches. And in the little confusion, he broke his ribs. I'll never forget it, because I was, just warming up as the young kids were just coming out. So I managed to split them up, I'll never forget it, that day. But and some of the things we used to come into, just driving down the road in the van. He used to, if you come across a wagon with 2 lights at the top, he used to press the boxing glove in the thing and pretend he was laser shooting them sort of thing, with this boxing glove. He used to just do these random funny things, and, it become, he used to call them scuds. And, it was just random stupid stuff, and it was, entertainment for the young ones, and he's just so funny. The stories, he used to tell about, boxing lads and things he'd experienced, were priceless, honestly. He's someone I will always be very, very fond of. I loved the fella, loved his dedication to the sport, and, love and light to you, John, honestly, really love and light to you. You're a bit of a class act, and John, there's not many like you. They broke the mould when they made him. I'm telling you, he was just a bit, he'd walk through the street, he would talk to everybody, and he was, he was loved and liked by everybody.